Hey guys, how's it going? Stadman coming back at you again today, and today I'm going to be talking to you about X-Men Days of Future Past, the Rogue Cut, man that's a mouthful, and the newest X-Men movie, not for long, but X-Men Apocalypse. So, I recently picked this up for $8 during Black Friday, sight unseen, hadn't seen it in theaters, kind of wanted to, but wasn't really that interested because as much as I liked the Rogue, or not the Rogue Cut, but as much as I liked Days of Future Past, and as much as I liked First Class and even Wolverine, I feel like these X-Men movies, they just have not been doing enough justice to the characters. There's just, for the whole time that I've watched these movies, it's like there's just something missing. There's some kind of soul to these movies that just isn't there. There's something that like you got from the original, the X-Men cartoon in the 90s, and even like obviously in the comic, that you just don't see in these movies, and they get so many things wrong in the movies. And I get like it's hard to tell all the complexities of these stories in like a 90 to 120 minute time frame, but at the same time it's just that feels like an excuse to me, an excuse not to try. I gotta say, the past few X-Men movies have been really good, but it still hasn't gotten me quite. They still haven't gotten me quite excited enough to see a new X-Men movie in theaters until now. I gotta say, until now. That's where this is going. Until now! So, yeah, previously I'd only seen the original Days of Future Past, and I did not actually get the chance to see the Rogue Cut until I got it for $4 during Black Friday. So, for a total of $12 really here, I got both of these movies. Great deal. Now, Days of Future Past, it's a good movie. I just don't think it really holds up. It doesn't really do it for me. There are aspects to it that I really enjoy. I like that it's got this time travel concept. Wolverine being the only one there that can put a stop to what happened and all that. At the same time, it just feels like it's missing something. It's got that same this is missing something feel to it that I've experienced from like the first few X-Men movies to now. So even though this is the Rogue Cut now, and you get to see Rogue in there and all that, it's just honestly that didn't really add anything to it to me. I didn't feel like it really added anything to it. Everyone's been telling me, "Oh, you got to get the Rogue Cut. You got to get Rogue Cut," and I'm just thinking, okay, I got the Rogue Cut and I watched it, and yeah, there are differences, but are they really that significant? I don't know if they are. I mean, I don't think they are. It doesn't seem like they are. Either way, this one actually you can watch the original non-Rogue Cut as well. At least I believe you can watch the non-Rogue Cut with this as well, and compare the two if you want to. Maybe I will at some point. It's definitely not a bad movie, but I think if I had originally given this an 8 out of 10, it's probably more like a 7 or 7.5 out of 10. That's what I'm really trying to say here, is that it kind of lacks the oomph that I expect or that I really want to see from an X-Men movie. So, yeah, I mean, there are a lot of aspects that I enjoyed about this. I liked that they brought in the Sentinels, and the Sentinels, although they weren't perfect recreations of the comics or even the cartoons or whatever, they were pretty cool. They were pretty cool, and I enjoyed seeing the Sentinels. I liked Peter Dinklage's role in the film, and of course, you gotta love Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. And I liked the concepts that they were exploring with Charles Xavier. It's a good movie. It's a really good movie. It's just not my favorite X-Men movie. If I had to, I'd say that First Class was better than this. The point is, I wasn't really as happy with it this time around, but I did watch it before watching X-Men Apocalypse, just as a refresher, just so that I could know what I was getting into and have that fresh in my mind as I entered X-Men Apocalypse. So, enter X-Men Apocalypse. I was expecting maybe not to like this movie as much as others did, because some people, when they saw the trailer, they got really excited. When I saw the trailer, it struck me as the trailer just really didn't catch my attention. There was nothing in the trailer that made me say, oh, I really have to go see this in theaters. There was nothing there for me that stood out as a, you definitely have to see this one. Go to the theater to see this, man. And so, yeah, I mean, I could see what they were doing in the trailer. I could see where they were going in some ways in the trailer, but that trailer, go back and watch it. It really does not do justice to this movie. If you've seen the movie and you've seen the trailer, it does not do justice to this movie. The point I'm trying to make here is that trailer was crap. That trailer was shit. It didn't do its job. It failed at its job, at least for me. I was not interested in seeing it. It didn't look very interesting, and lo and behold, it was actually very interesting. Very freaking good movie. If I had to, I would say this is my favorite X-Men movie so far. Bar none. I really liked First Class and Days of Future Past. I keep calling it the Road Cut. Days of Future Past is pretty good, and I liked Wolverine. But after seeing this, this is my new favorite. And there are a lot of reasons for that. But I think the main one is that there's just so much going on in this movie. Like, yes, you've got that big guy there who's causing problems, but it's not all about him. There's like a bunch of different threads in this movie, and they all are really excellent. There are a lot of significant, heartbreaking stories in this movie that you can really feel for the people, for the characters who are going through these situations as a result of just humanity being so fucking stupid. And really, you look around today, can you deny it? Can you deny it? So, yeah, I really liked that aspect of this movie, but I wasn't totally and entirely sold on it. I felt like this is a really good movie. This is a really good movie. I really like this movie. But at the same time, I felt like this is about as good of a movie as Days of Future Past was. It didn't strike me as anything necessarily better than the last movie. Just good. Not great. Good. So I was about at the 7.5 out of 10 level as we were getting to the end of this movie, and the ending was so fucking good. It was so freaking awesome. I loved the ending of this movie because, quite frankly, it felt like something you'd see in a comic book. And then, at the tail end of the movie, you actually get to see the X-Men dressed up as the X-Men would have looked in the original cartoon and comic books from the 90s and stuff. I'm just like, oh my god. I had like a nerdgasm sitting there watching it and being like, they look exactly, he looks like, oh my god. It was so awesome. And they were training, and Professor Xavier comes up. He looks like Professor Xavier from the cartoons and everything. It's just, oh my god, it was so awesome. And as I saw that, I was like, yes! And now the next movie is going to be freaking awesome, right? The next movie is going to have the X-Men looking exactly the way they should look, and it's going to be awesome. And then my friend Brandon Skinslip told me that they might not be doing a next movie in terms of like a sequel to this. There's Logan coming out in like a week or two, but in terms of like a direct sequel to this, apparently, from what I understand, Bryan Singer, I don't know what's going on with that, but he was saying there might not be another one after this. They might reboot it, I think is what he was saying. So that would suck to finally get to this point. You finally made it. You got to the point where you can finally show us the X-Men that we know and love the way we know and love them. Show them as they should look, as they should be. Give us the X-Men that we know and love from our childhood. And instead of doing that, you're going to reboot the franchise? Really? Really? You finally got to the point. You finally showed us. You teased us with that last little, see, here we are, we finally made it to this point, and you just like, yoink. If Fox does that, after having gained my trust with these X-Men movies, slowly but surely over the years, fuck you, Fox. If you do that, fuck you. Because this was my favorite X-Men movie so far. It is my favorite X-Men movie so far. I like it better than any of the originals. I like it better than First Class. I like it better than Days of Future Past. Quite frankly, just, it's the best one, in my opinion. It's got the most going on. It's got the best story, the best interpretation, well, in my personal opinion, the best interpretation of the characters. Well, it's hard to say overarching best interpretation of all the characters. It's like, no, some characters are done better in other movies, yada, yada, yada. But, you know, others that I really like seeing, like, I felt like Nightcrawler was really well done in this movie, probably the best he has been done in any of the movies. So, yeah, I was really happy to see that because he's one of my favorite characters. Who knows? Maybe eventually they get around to doing a good Gambit, right? I remember when they were going to put Gambit in that Wolverine movie, and then let's just pretend they didn't actually put Gambit in that movie because whoever they did put in there was not Gambit. Yeah. Oh, that movie was such a disappointment. I saw that in theaters too. I think I actually have a review of it up on my channel from back in the day when I saw it in the theater. So yeah. Ugh. As I recall, I actually got like a free movie cash thing for that, so I didn't really pay anything for it, but it was still a waste of my goddamn time. Jeez. Anyways, those are my thoughts on X-Men Days of Future Past, The Rogue Cut, and X-Men Apocalypse. Let me know what you think. Which one of these is the better movie? Do you think this is the best movie of them all, like I do? Or do you think it failed miserably? And if so, tell me why. You gotta remember, I like X-Men, but my main experiences with X-Men come from like the cartoon that I haven't seen in ages. I've read some of the comics, but not all of them. I wouldn't even say I've read a whole lot of them, quite frankly. I know most of the concept behind the X-Men, right? It's not that I am a huge fan of the X-Men to begin with, so I can't really say that my opinion would necessarily be more valid than others or valid at all for anybody who is a huge fan of the X-Men. So in that regard, your opinion is probably, if you have more experience and more love for the franchise than I do, more valid than mine. So do please feel comfortable sharing your thoughts in the comments below. I'm not one of those assholes who thinks I'm better than everybody else and I know better than everybody else and my opinion is better than yours. Like, no, in this case, I mean, I'm not necessarily an expert. The only thing I would consider myself even like halfway close to an expert in is just filmmaking and stuff like that. Not even in terms of being able to do it myself, but just I've learned a lot about how films convey messages, you know what I mean? So that is kind of an area I would consider of expertise for me. But when it comes to the source material for these movies and whatnot, and how well they actually managed to reveal the source material, I'm not going to be as good as somebody to talk to as maybe Skinslip would be. Either way, yeah. This one is better than this one, in my opinion. But they're both very good movies, and I am very glad that I actually did end up picking this up for $8, sight unseen. I didn't know whether or not that would work out. I didn't know whether or not I would regret that purchase because I thought maybe it wouldn't be that good of a movie, but sure enough, very good movie, and actually has a reversible cover too, a really cool reversible cover to go with the really cool case. And that's one reason that you want to get it with this case while you can, because the reversible cover goes very well with this silver case. But if you don't get with the silver case, the reversible cover is probably not going to look as good with a blue case. So yeah. Also, just nice to have a reversible cover that you can do something like this with when you have the slip cover. It's kind of like, to me at least, what they did with the Shout Factory releases, where you can have the reversible slipcover on, reversible artwork, and you'll have different artwork here than you have here. It really feels like they're borrowing influence from Shout Factory and Scream Factory and companies like that. So, really good release, really good movie, really happy with this. Don't fuck it up. Please. I actually do want to see the sequel to this. Please. Give us a proper sequel to this. I am excited to see Logan, though. Logan looks awesome. And I'm really excited to see what they do now that Deadpool came out and proved that an R-rated superhero movie can make money. Now that they've done that, clearly Logan is going to be a lot more violent than past X-Men movies. And it's probably, I feel like it's going to be properly what Wolverine in particular should be all about. It is the Wolverine movie we deserved back in the late 2000s that we never actually got. And I don't mind saying that with fierceness. That's what I'm expecting, at least. I'll give you my thoughts on that when I actually go to see it, maybe, if you want me to. Let me know in the comments if you actually want my thoughts on Logan. Maybe I'll do a review specifically of just Logan. Anyways, that will do it for me. Thanks for watching, you guys. Catch you later. Peace.